Falling, it didn't hurt, didn't it?
No. We'll put people to sleep, we'll put them in the curve, they'll do something with them and say, well, shoot.
They do it.
That's what I was doing.
You would have to commercially build that house somewhere in that, even he could build it.
That's back in the good old days.
In 83.
Yeah, back in the good old days.
Now on a half.
I think they're ready. We'll get
It's
started.
5 and a half, and
Yep,
they
let's
deliver
go.
half my mail to the bar.
Okay, welcome to the Edinburgh Zoning Board of Appeals, Wednesday, May 7th, 2025. We'll start off with roll call. We have Bill Jones,
Here.
Alice Stepling,
Here.
Greg Simpson,
Here.
He sells.
Keith Sells, and Ron Ham's here. Also, Secretary Stephanie Taylor, sorry,
Here.
and Town Attorney Dustin Helps. Okay, if everyone's read the minutes for February the 5th, 2024. If you have any questions, if no questions, make a motion to approve the minutes.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes.
I wasn't either.
A second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye. Aye.
Okay, motion carried.
That should be 2025.
Yeah, I read that the other day and I was gonna make note of that. That's right.
She did that
Okay,
catch.
we have the sign-in sheet. You take care of that. Okay, then now we have the swearing in. Mr. Hudson will take care of that.
Thank you. Anybody in the audience that's going to speak tonight for or against any petition, I need to swear you in and raise your right hand. When you speak tonight, and I'll remind you of this, you state your name and your address for the record. Okay? So if you're not raising your hand right now, that means you're not going to talk at all. Okay? You swear in penalty of the perjury, the testimony you're about to give is full of truth and nothing but the truth. So help you God. Okay. Thank you.
Okay, we got case ZB 2025-02B.
This is a development standards variance request. It is a variance request to allow more than one principal structure on the property at 612 South Pleasant Street. The petitioner is requesting to convert the existing detached garage into living space. So our petitioner tonight is Princess Neda. The stated his address is 612 South Pleasant. Property is zoned R4. It is a single-family residence and a detached garage and a small shed on the structure. Everything in this vicinity is zoned R4. This structure is approximately northwest of Eisenhower. As I stated, the petitioner is requesting a development standard variance. This comes from our definition of the residential zoning districts. So they're requesting more than one principal structure. This is a picture of the garage that they are requesting to convert. And this is the floor plan that they have submitted, if this request is permitted for what the new structure will look like. At this time, I'm going to allow the petitioner to speak on what they're requesting and the reasons for that. I will let the board know that they have to comply with all of our publication and requirements, so we are good to have a public hearing on this tonight.
Before that, Julie, is there any preliminary questions the board has?
We have for me. Before we go to the closure.
bathroom and a kitchen. It's gonna be like a smaller house in the garage area. It's pretty big, so maybe we gotta make it to a smaller house, you know?
Is that it? Okay. Okay. Any questions for the petitioner?
Yeah, I've got one. Just where are you planning on the parking to be?
We have, there's parking in the front, and we also have parking where they're parking right now currently. Right in the middle of the house, we have like garage right there, for cars park. So like the parking would still be the same, we wouldn't be taken away from it.
Would that be in this picture where originally they were gonna add on to the house and there's a car parked right behind that? What would have been the add-on? So it's parked in the yard?
Yeah.
Are they, on the, as far as the addition on the back of the house, are they planning on filling that in any time and making living space? Is it going to be 3 different apartments, or are you trying to make just rental properties out of both of them?
Okay, so yes, we do plan on finishing the back of the house, and we don't plan on renting house, we just want, it's a lot of us, so we just want to show some different living spaces.
So it'll be just your families, you won't be renting it out or nothing?
Okay, do we need this to make a vote on it now?
Is there any other questions for petitioner? No. Okay. Is there anyone here to speak against the petition? Okay, now, Julie, thank you. To go over your recommendation.
I guess the one question I have, I think it's currently a rental, based on the address. Is the property currently a rental?
Right now, yes.
So as I mentioned, currently we have, a single-family dwelling, the garage, and then, this unfinished, addition that was started in 2020, there was an extension in 2021, but, this has yet to be completed. There's also a shed on the property, the owner did come in and received a, permit application today, so, it's no longer an issue. So if this is approved, this creates several non-conforming items. We end up with 2 principal structures, we end up with a principal structure too close to the property line, we end up with a non-conforming lot. We also have this addition that was started and not finished. So, taking all of those into consideration and looking at the facts or the criteria for approval, in staff's opinion, this application does not meet the criteria for approval in that there is not a practical difficulty in that there is an opportunity to complete this addition and have what they're requesting. In my staff opinion, so I would recommend that this petition is denied based on these findings. Should the board want to approve it, I do have some recommendations and conditions for approval. Those are the board's wishes. Happy to entertain any questions.
Okay, does anyone have any questions? No questions. Do we have a motion to approve or deny?
Remember, members, if you approve, you can then put any kind of conditions you want. If you deny, you can't simply say, I deny. You have to state per Indiana law why it's denied, and that would be they haven't met one of those three criteria, which is spelled out on page 6. Top of page, middle page 6. And your staff is stating they are not meeting number 3. That's her opinion. So you need to state which one they have not met. You can't just simply say deny, that's not it. State why.
Okay. I think based on all the information before us, and because of that, I would make a motion that we deny based on number 3 criteria not being met.
I'll make a second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carried. Sorry, but it has been denied. Okay, you ready for the next one? Okay, case ZB 2025-03 UV. There's been a procedure issue, and Mr. Hudson will explain.
Thank you. Members, if you remember, we have certain criteria about filing. You have to have an application filed, pay the fee. There's a notice requirement, and that information has to be submitted to Julie at a certain deadline. The applicant missed that deadline by a couple hours, 3 hours, I think. So your decision is to either continue it due to the late notice submittals to Julie for the next month's meeting, or you can vote to proceed since the applicant's here for this meeting. You have to do that before the case starts.
I make a motion, we proceed.
Second.
We have a motion to proceed and a second. All in favor, say aye.
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 Okay.
Motion carried. So we will proceed.
Our next case is 2025-03. This is a use variance request for 101 West Main Cross. This is filed by Park Homes LLC. Travis Carpenter is the owner. It is downtown. It's the southwest corner of Main Cross and Walnut Street. Currently, we have 2 businesses on the ground floor and the upper floor are vacant. Everything around there is business district. So the petitioner is requesting a use variance from, this is the use table of the zoning ordinance, requesting to allow 5 total apartments to be added to the second and third floors of the building at 101 West Main Cross. Everything in the package tonight will show 4 apartments on the diagram. The request is for 5. And it is the old inner building. He did post a sign on the building. And I will let him present at this time what he is requesting, and I'll go through all the zoning considerations and all those items. I want to have any questions from you before we go through the public hearing portion.
Do we have any questions?
Not for you.
Good evening. I've taken time to read.
Sir, you say your name.
Oh, Travis Carpenter, my home address for my business address.
We the one you want.
Okay. 3605 Stratford Place, Honolulu. I have written up a narrative here and kind of an explanation. To be honest, it is a little bit long. It will take several minutes. Is that okay if I do that first?
You have 20 minutes.
Okay.
Make presentation.
Okay. So, I just wanted to start by was saying, I focus now full-time, Park Homes is my business, I'm the sole owner. I focus full-time on real estate investment, been doing it for 7 years now. I'm also a licensed realtor and broker, and I do that on the side as well. I am an Indiana native, I grew up in Greenwood, Johnson County, very familiar with Edinburgh and the southern little towns. I own a construction company as well, separately called Blue Consulting, so I am a licensed, bonded, and insured general contractor as well, so I'm very experienced in construction. I also, before I got into exactly what I'm asking, I just want to say thank you very much for staff and just the people of Edinburgh. This is my first time investing in Edinburgh. Everyone's been very welcoming and helpful and detailed, and it's different from a couple of experiences I had in other towns. So I was very thankful that everyone's been very helpful and organized and detailed. So really, honestly, a pleasure. So thank you. Okay, so I'll give you a quick overview of where I'm coming from, what I plan to do. I've already made significant financial investments into other rural towns in Indiana, such as Anderson, Elwood, Knightstown, Newcastle, Alexandria, Columbus. So I like investing in rural towns. I like people. I like investing in towns that are trying to grow, that are trying to take the next step and want to provide better housing. I purchased this subject property near the end of March. I was able to do so, securing a loan for both the purchase and the construction. I'm using FCI Lender Services as my lender. They have already approved the construction funding and have approved my SOW that I have in place to overhaul the second and third floors that are currently gutted and vacant. My intention is to convert these spaces into 5 quality apartments that vary in size and bed and bath counts to provide a variety of affordable housing options for local residents. As stated, the plan, the rough drawing that I made, sorry, it's not the greatest. The rough drawing I made actually has been, we do have architect drawings that I'm kind of playing with right now. I change up a little bit, but we do have an architect involved, already have drawings, and we're debating right now whether we go through a 4-unit or 5-unit. If we do a 5-unit, the area on the drawing where you see the laundry on the 2nd floor would just be a studio apartment. That is deemed through the feasibility study as the highest and best use, and would provide the largest variety of housing options, and provide the potential for an in-house manager of the building. So it provides a lot more options, but we are trying to maximize the space so that families of the right size for these units would also have laundry, and making sure that if we put in laundry, we're not squishing them in the space. So that's basically the reason why we are going to do that right now. So 5 is the most ideal number that we are trying to get to. I completed pretty much every process or every step of the process up to this point. The easiest would be the final step after this, in hopes that I get approval tonight. If I do, then the next step would be to get a file for the state police. And I am the type of person that jumps on things right away. I don't like to sit around. I don't like seeing property sit vacant, deteriorate, get worse. So I do have a track record of getting things completed in a timely manner, and so I would be very excited to get this going right away. I have taken significant time to review the comprehensive plan produced in 2024 for the town of Edinburgh. Very exciting to see what's to come and everything that's been produced. I hope that you will agree after looking through this that my plan for this building perfectly aligns with the comprehensive plan for the town of Edinburgh and the special division for downtown. Also, thank you very much for providing the staff report. And if I may, I'd like to address a few things that came up in reviewing the report and doing some additional research that came from that. I agree with all staff findings and the criteria for decisions, except for one, which I will address in a minute, which is the hardship. I agree with the goal that variance will not be injurious to public health, safety, general welfare. I agree that approval will not affect adjacent properties in a substantial adverse manner. I agree that the approval of this variance will result in practical difficulty in the use of the property, simply because this is currently zoned for use as commercial on the 2nd, 3rd floors, and the question of changing that. The part that I am stating that I do disagree with would be the unnecessary hardship. This is due to 2 main reasons. One is the feasibility study that was conducted to show that the highest and best use of the building by far was for the second and third floors to be used as residential. And the second reason is the previous owner shared with me that they spent 3 years attempting to lease the space to commercial tenants on the second and third floors, and they were unsuccessful. Final one is the approval of this variance surgery will not interfere or be inconsistent with the goals and objectives of the comprehensive plan. Let's address parking. You'll probably see the information that I have in easement on the vacant lot at 115 East Main Street, East Main Cross Street. But, I have reviewed all of the minimum requirements and ordinances and the measurements on the lot, and I found that my lot is able to fit the minimum number of spaces required for my building and for these tenants. I found that I will be one of the few residential units in the downtown area that actually provides private parking to their residents, whereas many other buildings currently their tenants have to park on public street, and so I'm trying to ease the burden on the city by providing some private parking options. I do not have a drawing for the parking lot yet. I know that was mentioned in the report. We do have an engineer that is currently working on it and basically just trying to calculate the most efficient use of that space to make sure that we get the most parking spaces we possibly can out of the space we have to work with. And then finally, I thoroughly reviewed the staff report for my use variance application. I will be adhering to all the conditions that were suggested on page 8. And I do, of course, agree with the suggestion to for the board to approve this variance.
The off-street parking that you're talking about, is that going to be one parking space per unit?
It will be, there is enough to do 2 parking spaces per unit, plus an extra one for the studio. If the studio is built, so 9 total parking spaces.
Is the lot at 115 East Main Cross, you have an agreement signed with somebody to be able to use that lot, but was it not just sold in a tax sale and there's new owners somewhere that, I don't know I don't know how tax sales work, but I'm assuming there'll be possession within a year? I don't know how that works. So you have a contract for something that has a lien on it and a judgment against it. So I'm just, how would you work that out if those judgments came through and the person that bought it at a tax sale has the property and doesn't agree with letting you have it even though you've got a signed contract?
So that is correct. Someone did purchase it at a tax sale. I don't know this to be fact, but what I've been told is that that person purchased it thinking they were getting the building that was demolished. They did not realize the building was gone, so they were now being invested. And so I believe what's going to happen is they're going to be very disappointed whenever they find out that the building is gone, and either attempt to back out of the sale or attempt to sell. They are required by the easement to upkeep the lot, to pave it, and to adhere to the town ordinances. So I would plan to vigorously enforce that if they plan on keeping the lot. But frankly, I think the most likely thing is that they're going to want to try to either sell it to new owners.
That's not just wishful thinking.
No, it definitely can be enforced. They would have no choice.
And on that easement, did you pay for it?
Yes, yeah, I came with the purchase of it.
Okay, what did you pay for the easement?
It wasn't line item out in the purchase. It was just in our documents in our purchase agreement.
So the person that owned 115 also owned the building he purchased?
Yes, exactly.
So another question, are you gonna have to put a fire system in that since there'll be apartments upstairs? I don't know what that.
Yes, there will have to be a sprinkler system. Part of the thing that we're trying to figure out right now is whether we have to do a commercial or residential sprinkler system based on the number of units. It's quite complicated the way that the code works. So we're actually talking with both an attorney and an architect and engineer right now to try to have them all work as a team to help us fully understand exactly what our requirements are. But that could be a factor in exactly what happens with the space that's currently drawn along 38450 studio. That could be a very big factor in that. But regardless, there will be a sprinkler system. It just depends on whether it falls under or the residential usage, as you can imagine, for commercial, it's way too expensive.
And then, and it's showing these, are the entrance gonna be in the back of the building?
The side.
The side,
Um,
be the west side or the east side?
East
South
side.
side between it is the post office. East side is South Walnut.
yeah, we want to start out with one. That would be the entrance.
And then another question, and I'll be good. As far as the meters, I'm the water superintendent in town, so that's why I'm asking a lot of questions. I believe there's only 1 meter, 1/5 meter in that building, and you'll need more. I'm assuming you'll upgrade to per apartment or one 2-inch meter for everybody or something.
Exactly.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure, and that's what I was wanting to know about the fire system. Because I know you can see the foundation right here is probably gonna look the same in the basement.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
So you'll have some structure issues to get through.
Yeah.
I'm done, sorry.
The entrance that you're talking about, that he asked about, the stairs are going to be on the inside.
Yes, yeah, and actually they were renovated before I bought it, so they're really nice, really wide right now too, so they can fit a lot of people.
I just remember the stairs that were there before, was metal, was on the outside.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I didn't know they were already pre-existing. I've never been in the building, other than the basement.
Oh, okay.
But-
Yeah, and there was actually, probably since last time you guys saw it too, there was a second staircase added to the same, still on the back side of the building, with the opposite corner. There was a second staircase added over there as well, to help move basically all the stuff they had to clear out and move it as well, so.
Okay, do I have any more questions for him?
Anybody here to speak against the petition? Okay. Thank you. Thank you, sir.
As stated previously, we are requesting a use variance tonight as the zoning table does not permit residential uses in the central business district. The business definition talks about having residential uses, but it does not permit them. Ground floor was building has 2 active businesses, the floor plan was submitted, showing 4 units, we discussed this 5th unit. There are several parking provisions in the zoning ordinance that would apply to this this building, since we are adding residential units, and this is considered a change of use. Essentially, we have several sections of our parking chapter that apply. Also, these residential parking spaces are required to be 300 feet from the building for the zoning ordinance. And we have dimensional requirements for the parking spaces and parking lot. So once we get a layout, we may need variances, can't tell you that right now. There is a parking agreement in place. I'm not a lawyer and I'm going to pretend to be able to tell you how that enforcement will work in the future. We do have one in place. This will be required to have 2 parking spaces for each unit. And I did list all of the items related to the 115 East Main Cross property in the staff report as well. Our comprehensive plan does support having the downtown revitalized, and additional housing, affordable units and variety, and us amending the zoning ordinance to have residential uses on these upper stories. We do have several current businesses downtown utilizing public parking, whether that be for their businesses or their upper story tenants. and we do have this, parking authority that, So, in taking all that into account, as I went through the findings of fact, I recommend approval of this project with actual conditions in my PowerPoint. So there are several conditions
Six of them.
in your staff report. So I apologize for not having them on the slide tonight, but there are 6 conditions in the staff report that I would recommend if you were to approve. Happy to answer the questions.
Does anyone have any questions for Julie?
I agree with the leaders that you're not a lawyer, you don't know how that's gonna go, none of us do, including the owner. That is my biggest concern, is that if that falls through, all those people are gonna be parking on the street.
They may park in the street, they may park in the lots that the town has.
Either way, they're gonna be on public parking lot, probably, if that falls through.
If that falls through, which is, what the other business owners and apartments are doing currently.
Does the town have 2-hour parking uptown? Didn't they have that for a while or?
On
East Main
What?
Cross.
East Main Cross, and there are, some of it was taken off of Walnut Street, but through the downtown is 2-hour parking.
And there's a parking lot behind the Dry Branch Center, town parking, town lot, town parking. The doctor's office is gonna be town parking, so there's within a couple hundred feet.
The one,
It is now.
It is,
We're under that criteria of 115 East Main Cross.
Hey, does anyone have anything else?
I'll make recommendation or staff approval with the 6 criteria. Approval.
You make a motion.
I make a motion, sorry.
We have a
Approval of
motion to
the, approval with the 6 criteria.
We have a motion to approve it. And do we have a second?
I'll second it.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Ayes have it.
Good luck, sir.
I hope it looks really nice.
Are you gonna paint the building?
I was gonna ask that.
Okay,
Canary's getting old.
does anyone have any other business?
Make a motion to adjourn.
We have a motion to adjourn, and we have a second.
I'll second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Meeting adjourned. Thank you for coming.
I can imagine. I can't get that.
There's been going on with the ambulance.